Hello YouTube, this is the Great Toy Reviewer, and I thought today I would do just a list of things I hate. And it's usually the actions of other people that I hate. And keep in mind, these are just my preferences. I'm not trying to push them on anybody, but these are just things that I truly despise and wish nothing but death towards. Now, this isn't top 10 list. I don't do top 10 lists all that much. They're kind of meh. But I'm just going to go straight into it. There's no particular order. This is not from worst to best, best to worst. It's just whatever comes to mind. And first, I have to mention the first thing I hate is at any time I'm walking through a store and I've never seen anything to the contrary than to this standard. There are two big fat women walking in front of me, and they're walking side by side. And these are the kind of women that stop and look at everything. They can be old, they can be middle-aged, doesn't matter. And I've never seen men do this. I have never witnessed two fat guys walking down an aisle side by side. And the part that really pisses me off about this, I can't get around these two. The cellulite blockade is in the fucking way. Now, just to keep it in the parameters of shopping here, this is just a few things around a grocery store or a grocery store or a department store that make me want to leave. Drop whatever I have that I was going to buy and just leave. Now, aside from the two fat women that are walking side by side, it would have been simpler if they would just walk single file. When I'm going through a grocery store, supermarket, whatever the fuck you want to call it, I sometimes grab a shopping cart. Only if I have to. Well, that's like one time out of 100. I mostly grab a shopping basket. That way I can stay on my toes, get in, get the shit I want, and get the fuck out. That's my shopping premise. Unless, of course, I'm going in just to take a few minutes to look for something, or look at something. But when I go in to get groceries, I know exactly what I'm going to get. I go straight there, get it, and get out. Unfortunately, there's all these dumb fucks in the way. There's all these dumb fucks, and that's pretty much what you can boil it down to. They're just dumb fucks. The two fat women that walk side by side, the cart leaners, these are the usually portly women that they lean against the front of their cart and slowly push it forward. And wouldn't have a problem with this had they stay over on the fucking side. No, they have to be in the middle of the fucking aisle. I can't get around them. You can't get around them because there's always people coming the other direction. And cart leaners stop for everything. They stop for everything. They take 5 steps and stop. And then they slowly proceed forward. I want to carry a cattle prod. A 10,000 volt cattle prod. And just get the fuck out of the way. I really think there should be like a little remote control for customers who have... Every single cart should have a remote control that other customers can control it. So when someone's taking their jolly old time, all they have to do is push one little button, and their cart goes off to the side, so you can go through. Another thing about shopping, it doesn't matter if it's in a grocery store or a department store. This is where I call basically the gathering of chickens. Because it's nothing more than a bunch of fat hens getting together just to cluck over whatever. It's usually old women that haven't seen each other. Don't think this video is about bashing old women. They just happen to be on my list of pet peeves. But it's mostly anybody that they haven't seen each other for all of 5 minutes, and they have to stand in the middle of the fucking aisle and chat. Now keep in mind, this isn't just shopping centers. This is anywhere, any sort of public venue, any sort of the skywalks, sidewalks, middle of the fucking street. I've seen it happen. People will stop and make sure the world around them has to stop so they can have a 10-minute engaging conversation with someone they probably seen 5 minutes ago. Oh my God, you're still here? Oh. And the problem is, I can't get through them. I become a human plow. That's my favorite thing. I love plowing through people. I don't say excuse me. I never have said excuse me to anybody that does this. I just plow right through them. If you want to stop in front of me and have your engaging conversation and block like a fucking heart attack waiting to happen, block the fucking access way, I'm going to plow right through you. And we say, and I actually had fun with this. Somebody actually asked me, what do you say after I bumped right by her? I said, get the fuck out of the way! It's that simple. I can't understand. I wouldn't have, like I said, I wouldn't have a problem if they would get the fuck out of the way. Instead, they completely ignore everything else. I pride myself as making sure I'm aware of my surroundings at all times, when I can and as often as I can. Realize who's walking behind me, what's in front of me, what's off to my sides. Normally, people, you got text jockeys they're too busy texting to wonder what the fuck is ahead of them sometimes, let alone what's behind them and off to the sides. Oh, text jockeys need to be bashed over the head with a frying pan. Oh, anytime I see this, I mean, they're not playing a handheld game, they're texting. That's a video in and of itself, by itself. But when you're blocking the walkway so you can have your conversation with your dipshit friend that you are completely devoid of any sort of concern about anything else surrounding you and everybody else has to go around you, fuck you. I go through your ass. Now, in going back to department store bullshit, here's another thing that pisses me off. And keep in mind, this is not just grocery stores and department stores. This is also public transportation. This shit happens. And shit, even the nearest street corner, for crying out loud. These are mothers. Young, usually about 22 about average of 20, 22, that have 2 kids, 1 kid or 2 kids or 3 kids with them, and they're not paying any attention to their children. They're texting. Here's a situation I was in about 2 weeks ago. I was walking through the local Target. There wasn't a local Target. It was my local Walmart, of all things. I was walking through, minding my own P's and Q's, and there was this mother pushing a shopping cart with a brat in the seat, and then 2 brats to her sides. One of them was screaming for candy, and the mother was just not paying any fucking attention to their kids. And I try and stay far to the side as I can, because this situation just pisses me off. Because I end up wanting to say something to the mother. The mother pays no attention. As I was walking down this aisle, I felt a sharp pain in the back of my leg. It turns out one of the little shits, for no reason, walked right up behind me and kicked me in the fucking shin, just below the knee. And of course, I'm not one to let something go. I don't make excuses. I don't accept excuses or make excuses. I don't give a shit if he's only 5 years old. I'll take my aggression out on the fucking mother for being a stupid cunt. So I say something, I can't remember exactly what I said. The mother, as devoid of brains as she is, looks right at me and say, "Don't you talk around my kid that way? Or don't you talk like that around my kid?" And I basically just told the bitch, "Listen, pay attention to your fucking child. Because if I was in a bad mood, which I was, but if I was had to be made into a worse mood, I would have walked up and I would have clocked the cunt. I would have just walked up and punched her, because I don't think people should hit young kids. But I'm not against men hitting women when they're stupid cunts. I'm not against that. If women can hit men, men should be able to hit women. You want equality, sisters, that's equality. And if you don't like that, then you're not my equal. Simple as that, hands down, bar none. Also, keep a control of your fucking kids. Oh, the texting, I really think this is just fucking pointless. It's a fucking phone. You talk into a phone. I say texting. They should just make an extra little thing just so you can text, and then a phone you can talk into. Jesus Christ. The little fucker just walks up and kicks me for no reason, and the goddamn mother's all nonchalant about it. I really should have caved in her fucking skull for allowing that to happen. Not enough of that angry tirade there. Another thing that pisses me off about shopping, well, this is really the last thing about shopping that pisses me off, that I hate, is when it gets to the checkout lane. There are 3 things that go on at a checkout lane that pisses me off, and it has everything to do with the people around me. First, here's a question. What is the fucking point of having 20 lanes and only 2 of them are open? And there's no self-checkout lanes open. There's only 2 fucking lanes. And the cashier, of course it is Walmart, and most of the cashiers there for some reason seem to be not running on all force. They're not running on all cylinders. Not all cylinders are firing, folks. They're so fucking slow. And here's what gets to me about this. Not only is there only 2 lanes open, bless my heart, there's only 2 fucking lanes open. There's going to be, one lane's always going to be the 6 items or 10 items or less. This is where the other 2 things come into play, and it usually goes, hand in hand. When there's a sign that says 10 items or less, and the employee doesn't tell the people that have, 15 plus items in a big full fucking cart, please go down to the next one. This is 10 items or less. When they don't say that, I want to punch the employee for being lazy, for being a fucking coward. When it says 10 items or less, I personally think you should have the right to beat the living fuck out of anybody who goes through one of these lanes, these 10 items, 6 items or less lanes, with more than 5 over. I can understand if there's like 15 items, or if there's like in a 6 lane, if there's in a 6 item minimum, or 6 item maximum, there's maybe 8 items at 10. I can understand that so long as it's, boom, 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 gone. 10 items, I can understand 15. Whatever, a little bit of leeway here. But when you have 100 fucking items, and there's about 20 people behind you, I personally think anybody who does this shit and gets called out on it, and they refuse to go to another checkout lane, everybody from that person on back should have the right to, without any sort of consequences behind it, be able to drag that fucker out into the parking lot and just beat the fucker to death. Regardless of gender, age, physical capability, race, religion, doesn't fucking matter. If they do that shit, drag them straight into the parking lot and beat the fucker to death with hammers. That's what I think should happen. And also the third thing, because keep in mind, I just mentioned two. The third thing is anybody who pays for anything less than $20 with a fucking check. Oh, the anger, just the sheer anguish I had to go through on a daily fucking basis going through this shit. And it's always some old woman with a check. And keep in mind, check writers are completely uncourteous and just completely insensitive to everybody around them. They don't fill out their check. They don't fill out the name, date, and place before they get to the checkout lane. Or when they even get there, they don't fill it out while they're in line. No, they're going to wait until all their shit has been rung up. And here's where it gets bad. Not only do they have to fill this fucker out, most of them have arthritis, so you kind of hear the crackling and breaking of the bones as they're trying to write this shit out. Yeah. Then the employee has to then they have to rip the check out. And here's the part that gets to me. Before they rip the check out of the book, they balance their checkbook right there before they hand them the check. Then they have to hand them the check, and then the employee has to take their fucking time trying to run this piece of shit through. All it takes 5-10 minutes out of my life, and then they're finally gone. Oh, and also, by the way, here's another thing that really gets to me. I truly think that any place that allows for credit cards and debit cards, there should be no minimum purchase required. There's a $5 minimum purchase when it comes to using credit or debit cards. What about checks? Oh, it could be 50 cents. They can write a check. Not any bullshit. Well, they say you have to make a purchase of more than $5, otherwise it costs them. Fuck them. Be lucky I'm spending money in your store to begin with. Oh, and by the way, if there's going to be a $5 minimum purchase for the use of credit cards, guess what? There needs to be a $50 minimum in the cost of writing checks. If you can't carry cash, don't fucking write a check. Get a fucking debit card. It's quicker. I always hear people say credit cards are costly or time costly. No, they're not. I use a debit card all the time. I just swipe the fucking thing, make one little selection, put in my PIN number, and easy peasy, I'm out the fucking door. No, it doesn't work that way because people are just fucking inconsiderate. Now, I really enough about the bitching about shopping. Let's talk about YouTube. Well, I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube. I've seen a lot of shit that it's interesting, some of it just sucks, some of it's just dumb and boring, blah, blah, blah. Here's a type of video I hate watching. As soon as I hear it come on, I shut it off. That's any video where somebody, doesn't matter what mixture of a person they are, doesn't matter their race, gender, age, religion, the whole rainbow of special interest groups. It doesn't matter what particular group you belong to or what groups you belong to. When you're trying to make a point in your video and you got noise playing in the background, rap, hip-hop, rock and roll, techno, Jesus fucking Christ, techno. When you got that shit blaring in the background, I can't understand you. I do not take the time to listen to what you have to say. If you have to, I don't know, distract us from what you're saying by having us listen to this asinine crap in the background, it's always the same. If it's rap, it's always hardcore gangster rap with the same fucking beat. And I don't know how hip-hop and rap are related. I hear people say that one's related to the other, but whatever, hip-hop rap, when it's playing in the background, I don't want to fucking hear it. If you're wanting me to listen to what you have to say, get rid of the Snoop Dogg, get rid of the Eminem, get rid of the whatever it is playing in the background. Because if you, especially when you can't hear them. There's plenty of videos I've just wanted to watch, and then when it comes to actually watching them, all of a sudden there's this, the headache droning of the beat from rap, and the lyrics just, they don't turn the volume down on this shit, and they think people can hear them. They sound, that's what it sounds like, except for you got this blaring bass in the background. Please, listen, if you're going to make a video and you want people to hear what you have to say, turn the fucking noise off. Thank you. And then, of course, the only other thing about YouTube that also pisses me off, in only regards to my videos, are any of these dumb fucks that put first, second as a comment, but they don't actually put a comment. They just say first, second. I block people that do that. All the time. Every time I see it, every time I see first, I just block them just because they're stupid. Just for being dumb like that. Now, let me add to that. If they actually left a comment and say first, and then actually make a comment on the video itself, I don't care. It can stay there, but if it just says first, it instantly gets blocked. I remove it and then I block them. Because they're not worth having around, if that's their only idea of adding to any sort of conversation. Now, other things I hate. Well, I got a whole plethora of stuff I just hate. Because I either like something or I hate it. Or I'm indifferent to it, which is, I guess, worse. For somebody once told me it's worse to be indifferent to something, but let me just put it this way. If you're going to make a video on YouTube and you want people to hear what you have to say, please, with the invisible man in the sky almighty, please, don't put music in the background. Ever. Don't ever put noise in the background. And just a case for the point, I tried listening to Rant Radio, the Sheen Kennedy, real news, whatever. I couldn't listen to it because they were blaring rap in the background, and my head was splitting trying to listen, and they were so soft. Their voices are just so fucking soft. So please, if you're gonna make a video, I don't give a shit who the fucking artist is. Leave that crap out of your video. Oh, please leave that garbage out of your fucking video. Otherwise, like I said, as soon as I start hearing anything like that, hard rock, techno, rap, doesn't matter. As soon as I hear it boot up in the background, I instantly shut the video off. I say, oh, fuck them. They're not worth listening to. And I'm going to end this video here because I want it to go on too long. Just keep in mind, best way I can describe myself, I'm all about equality. 100% absolute equality. You're either my equal or you're not. And I'll do a video at some point, and I'll explain that maybe in another video, but you're either my equal, 100%, hands down, no special favors, or you're not. It's that simple. Great toy reviewer. See you at the next review.